I sort of torture my family by saying, these beans we're eating, they were alive just, half an hour ago. My name is Spring Warren. I love to garden. I didn't always love to garden, but I decided to grow most of my food out of my own yard, a suburban yard. And so now I feed myself and my family pretty much out of the yard. When I decided to do this, I set out some rules. And so the first rule was 75% by weight of everything I ate had to come out of the garden. And I did weigh everything the entire year. What I did with the other 25% is that was open for me to eat chocolate cake or pasta or cheese or anything else that I wanted to eat, whether it was good for me or bad for me. That was just up to myself to decide. I've been gardening quite a while, but the gardening that I've done previous to this experiment was it wasn't much. It was the sort of typical grow a tomato plant, a couple of tomato plants, a couple of basil plants, a pepper, and make your own salsa kind of gardening. When I grew up in Wyoming, fruit was awful. My mom would say if we were hungry before dinner, eat an apple. And red delicious apples were these horrible things. I'd think I'd rather be hungry than eat an apple. Growing straight out of the garden and picking and then cooking it, the food is so much better. I really love to cook. It feels like writing or painting or any other creative endeavor to me. I like to think of the garden as ongoing, and of course, every time I think about what's next with the garden, it is usually thinking, I'm going to figure out how to really grow, a great beet. I still think, why are my beets not as good as other people's beets? Sometimes people feel that in order to do this, you have to go all out and rip your entire yard apart. And really, it takes very little space to grow a very large amount of your own produce. Gardening is very much a creative endeavor. What ultimately somebody is doing is making something.